Hey guys, what's up? I'm Mohit from Thenika and we are back with a new tutorial. In this, we'll look into how we can create these kinds of very simple yet commonly used typographical animations in Fusion. If you see, this one is 2D and this is 3D. So to create this, we'll use the text plus node, and for this, we'll use the text 3D node. So without wasting too much time, let's get into it. Inside Fusion, I'll set the timeline to 50 frames. Next, I'll add a text plus node, so shift space bar, text plus, OK. Now drag it to the viewer, fit. Let's fill in something in the text field. Maybe same as the example, so here we go. Why not? Change the font to something nice. There. Now if you see, there are different tabs in the property window of the text plus node, all of which can be animated, and I'm sure we can achieve various results with it, but as a set. For our example, we need the alphabets to animate with an offset. And to achieve that, we need to add a modifier called the follower modifier. So we'll go to the text, and then I'll come to this style text, right click and click on follower. This region turns blue, indicating that a modifier is applied. Let's go to the modifier tab, open the follower. In our example, the text is moving up vertically. So we'll go to shading, scroll down, open the transform, set a key for this offset, so right click, animate. The Y value I'm going to set it to -1. Go a few frames forward and set it to 0. So this is the animation that we are getting. Right now the animation is linear, so we'll go to the spline editor, select displacement, fit. I'll select this keyframe, hit F on keyboard to flat. An additional tip, if we hit T on the keyboard, we'll get the ease in and ease out values. Now by increasing this value, I can increase the length of this handle. So if I want to set a number, say 80, I can set the length of this handle to 80. So that's very handy. This is for the left handle and this is for the right handle. So to show how that works, I'll select this keyframe, set it to F and increase this value. The right handle is moving. I don't need this, by the way, so I'll just Ctrl Z to undo all that. Another tip, we can move these handles horizontally or vertically by holding Alt. So if I hit Alt on the keyboard and move horizontally, we'll get perfectly horizontal movements. Or if I hit Alt again and start moving vertically, I can get perfect vertical movements. And this works for the keyframes as well, not just for the handles. So I'll select this keyframe and set it to F. So if I move it horizontally here, this is what I get. Few frames forward, I'll just click on the curve to add a keyframe. Next, I'll just push it slightly up, hit F on the keyboard. So if you see right now, we'll get a nice settle. Maybe that's a little too much. So I'll just pull that value down, so hit Alt and drag it down. Yeah, there. Let's play it again. So that's what we get. But again, we are not getting that offset. For getting that offset, what we need to do is simply just go to timing and set this delay value to 1 or whatever value you prefer. So now if I just hit play, boom. So if I want it to be slower, then I can set it to say 3 and it will be slower. So that way we can play with the speed. Or if I want the animation to start from the right, so I'll just select this one, right to left, and play. This is what we get. So we have various options, inside out, this one, or if it is outside in, that way. So you can play around with that. We can also set it to between the first character and the last character. So this is what we get. So I'll just set it to between each character and from left to right. Also, we can set the character range. So if you have more than 20 characters, you have to increase this number. I'll go back to all characters, set the value to 1. I also don't want the text to be visible in the starting, so I'll just maybe go to frame number 2 and go to shading. I'll set the opacity value to 0. Right click, animate, go to 4 and set the value to 1. So now this is what we get. So we are done with the first example. Moving on to the next, let's add a text 3D node this time. Text 3D node. Fill the text into the text field. Here we go. Drag this to the viewer. Zoom out. Since this is a 3D object, we have the 3D viewport here. To this, I'm going to add a merge 3D. And to that, I'm going to add a renderer 3D. Drag this to this viewer, fit. To this merge 3D, let's add a camera. Let's pull the camera back. I'll go into the properties. Just push this back. Yeah, but right now if you look at this, we have the same output as the previous one. So let's select the text 3D node. Open extrusion. I'll increase this value. Maybe a little of this. Right now if you see the edges are very sharp. So let's also add some bevel. Something like that. But I also want the bevel to be smoother, so instead of this classic, we'll go to custom. Now I can access this inside the spline editor as well. So I'll go to the spline editor, select extrusion profile, fit, select the top portion, hit F on the keyboard to flat. I'm going to select this one and I'll make it vertical. Same thing here. Now I'll select this one and I'm going to set a value of 70 and select this one and set this to 80. Do the same thing here, set this to 70 and this one to 80. Right now if you see, we have really smooth edges for our 3D text. Let's go back to the flow. If you see, the renderer 3D is still giving the same output. So we'll select the renderer 3D, enable lighting and shadows. Let's actually get into animation. So select the text 3D, set the timeline to 50 frames. Like earlier, go to the style text, right click and follower. Go to the modifier tab, open the follower and let's go to the transform this time. Open the character rotation. At 0, I'll set a key for this angle X. So right click animate. I'm going to set this value to -180. Go a few frames forward and set this value to 0. Let's play it. This is what we get. Let's go into the spline editor, set this to flat and maybe around 14. I'll just set a key, fit, raise the value of this key, select that, press F to flat. Now let's play it. And that's what we wanted. Stop. Let's go to the flow. We also want to use the opacity as earlier. So let's go to the shading. So at frame 2 maybe, I'll set the opacity value to 0. Right click animate. Go a few frames forward and set the value to 1. So now if we play it, this is what we get. Good. That's the animation part. Let's actually try and make it better. So, to this merge 3D, I'll add a point light. Select the point light. Let's actually push it a little down. Move around in the viewport. Push it a little back. Yeah, something like that. There. Yes. Let's add one more point light. Select that one, push this up and push this forward. Push it further up, something like that. Now select this point light, go to Tools. I'm going to set this intensity value to 5 and maybe change the color to something like light blue. Select this point light, change the color for that too, something like that. Let's add one spotlight for this. Select the spotlight, pull it back, something like that. Change the settings. Let's actually give some texture for the text. So let's go to the bin, Control B, and let's see shaders. I'll select this rock texture. So double click on that, close this, drag this here, drag this to the viewer. This is the texture we have. If I try to connect this rock to this merge 3D, it's not possible. So what I have to do is select this text 3D. To that, I'll add an extra node, replace material, shift spacebar, replace material 3D node. Now I'll connect the output of this rock to the replace material node, and we have the texture applied on the text. So if we play it now, we have a problem. Our opacity is no longer working. So what we can do is copy these two nodes, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, connect the text 3D to the merge 3D, also the camera to the merge 3D, and we'll connect the output of this render 3D to the effect mask of this render 3D. So now if we play it, we have our opacity back. Next, what I'm going to do is add motion blur to this. So selecting the render 3D, I'll go to this particular icon here, click on motion blur, and I'm going to increase the quality to 10 all the way up, and this shutter angle as well all the way up. So if we play it now, we can see the motion blur. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, do put a like down below, comment, share on your social media platforms, and do subscribe to the channel. It helps. So until next time, bye.